How we connected up? I think we are. Are we live? Yeah, there we go. The last part of the actual sculpting process now for the sick Triceratops commission. As you can see, there we go. Line it up there. There we go. Yeah, so we've got all the details on the skull now, which I'm quite happy with. You can't quite see it in this light, but we've got the little veins going through the actual skull itself, on the frill, sorry. The little imperfections in the horn sculpt. And I've even added a few more details on the beak there as well. So you can't really pick it up in this light, unfortunately, but they're there basically. And as you can see as well, I've already started raptor dig site in the first film, so I'm just literally adding in and then putting those on as well. Okay, so it's saying that I've got a bit of an unstable connection, so if I suddenly disappear, well, that's why. So I've pre-made some of these already momentarily. Let's see, bucket of water, so that needs to go down here. I've got brush. Oops. Come on. So these will, so that wants to go here. I'll just tweak that up a bit more. Come on. Oops. Right, we need a bit of an assistance. Yeah, well, there we go. Okay. Move that out of the way. There we go. Hi Titan, how are we doing? Hopefully you're having a nice day. Actually, rather than do it that way. There we go. References, especially with the ending of the movie. But no, I'm glad you liked it. It's one of my favourites of his Ray's black and white era filmmaking. I'll have to brush up on my trivia on that film because at some point I'd like to cover it in a fan commentary as well. Okay, I want this one. There we go. So that's the spray bottle. Next fun one to do is this paintbrush. I think that probably needs trimming in a bit more, actually. Yeah, the creature's called rightly, so it's never called it in the film, but that's what the creature was actually called. Some people also refer to it as a Venusaurian because it has that reptilian dinosaur morphology. But no, it was a really interesting idea for a creature concept, and I love the design of it, especially the cheek jowls, because Ray reused them for the yeah, fantastic film. Absolutely love it. I remember saying to Ray when the last time I met him in at his home, and I said to him, I just need to tell you, how much I absolutely love for that movie, because out of all special effects movies that I've seen, especially in stop motion, I've never seen one motion. I don't ever seen anyone tackle that apart from Ray, and that in itself to me is worthy of an honorary position. Ooh, and thinking about it, if you go onto the Harryhausen Foundation Facebook page, Twitter, and I think they have it on their Instagram as well, they're now taking votes favorite creature in Ray's collection by his fans. So you can choose up to 3 creatures, and the Ema's in there as well. So yeah, if you want an opportunity to cast your vote, then pop on over and stick it in there. And of course, by entering as well, you get put into a draw to win a copy of Ray's daughter's Vanessa Harryhausen. She's written a book reminiscing about her memories of her father when she was growing up. So yeah, it's a good book. Okay, so that's one paintbrush. Now this one's going to be a fun one because this is effectively a bucket of water. I'm never going to get this angle right. Here we go. Yeah. So what I want to try and do is give a ripple effect on the inside. But I don't want it to be too on the nose. So hopefully no, don't worry about it. Like I say, the even if it's only a case you've seen 3 films of his, like I say, you can choose up to 3 creatures, so it's not like it's a do or die situation. But yeah, it's definitely worth entering just to say part of it, if anything. You might would be that one vote that makes people think, actually, yeah, you know what? Decide who I think is the best. So I've just gone with Guanji, the Styrus, and the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, because I absolutely love those films. Can't get enough of them. But at the same time, The Beast was the first film I watched as a kid, and then I don't have any like childhood memories with that one. Yeah, I'd rather put my vote towards something that I know is probably going to have a lasting impression on people. There we go, that's a bit better. I'm just trying to tease that layer in so it gives a three-dimensional rim for the bucket, but then the water's... This would be so much easier if it was monster clay, though. There we go, see how that goes. So Titan says, I'm beneath the sea and Clash of the Titans. And every single one of those is an absolute gem. You cannot fault them. There you go. There you go. So this one's got to be... Right, spin that around. You spin me right round, baby, right round. It says, I will say the third Sinbad movie was kind of weird because it didn't really have any mythical creatures. Yeah, that seems to be a lot of complaints from people in the fan base about that particular movie. I mean, I absolutely love it. I really like the idea that Sinbad has opportunity to fall into the world of sort of like semi-realism over pure fantasy. But then people tend to forget that originally Ray wanted to do something with Sinbad Goes to Mars, so that made it more science fiction than fantasy. So yeah, it's easy how people seem to go in suit with the idea. It's making the idea work, and I honestly think that Golden Eye, Eye the Tiger is a really good Sinbad film. Although I will say that in terms of the villain, what was her name now? Yeah, I think she's a fairly weak. Yeah, it's personal taste, I suppose. Where is it? Here we go. I'm really sorry if my internet is really bad as well. I don't know what's going on with it today. It seems to be constantly dipping in and out, and I don't know if that's affects on. Just thin that part of the handle out just a tiny bit more. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. No, sorry about that. I'll hopefully it'll still keep me going for an hour. I've got a funny feeling that it might be because everyone's home in the street. Everyone's using their Wi-Fi. Okay. Sorry, I'm just at the moment. There we go. So, if I'll just remove this bit instead. There we go. Right, so let's see if I can redo this. Right. Tyson says, my favourite creatures of his that I've seen are probably the Cyclops and the Hydra. The Hydra has like Rodan heads. Yeah, I could probably see that actually. The modern interpretation of him. In saying that, would the original have had the double crest? I can't remember if he did or not now. But yeah, I can see that. I've actually seen the Hydra in person as well. An exhibition in early 2019 actually. It's a massive model. It's about, was it about 2-3 feet long, I think it was. Massive. And the size of the heads, I've got something as a reference actually. Probably, yeah. Yeah, so this thimble, I think the heads were probably a little bit longer, but that was the same sort of likeness for it. So it's quite impressive how much detail he actually managed to get into those heads. But I think I was more impressed with the scaling on the whole thing, because although they weren't typical reptiles, they still worked as reptile scale. Hard drive of it somewhere from the exhibition. But yeah, it was a fantastic model to look at. You know, I'm going to take that out even more. I'm going to really recess it down. Doesn't feel like an illusion of a bucket at the moment. It just feels more like it just needs to be a little bit deeper. Tyson says, I found it kind of interesting how it just dies by getting stabbed in the chest and doesn't get any heads cut off like you usually see. Yeah, that's my only gripe with that particular creature. As impressive as it is as a model, it was a shame that he didn't have the time or the budget to have a couple of the heads lopped off. But then I suppose in the grand scheme of things, and this actually goes all the way back to when he was working on Mighty Joe Young, that film budgets at that time just was as they are now. So after Mighty Joe Young, because the cost of the production was said to have been around about $2 million, if not a bit more. And in reality, that wasn't the case. The film, I think, only took about, I think it was like closer to 1,500,000, that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, because of the amount of money into a stop motion film. So regardless of how good Ray was, I mean, it's one of those sort of like things. It's like giving him the budgets he could do. So if it had the time and the budget, he might have actually had a couple of heads lopped off. I don't know whether he would have had them regrow, but he would definitely have probably had them lopped off. But yeah, he would have had to cut those sort of scenes out due to time and budget, which is a shame because I know for a fact that he would have had the talent to do it. But unfortunately, talent isn't everything, especially when it comes to people bring back money. Let's try doing this. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. I think I need to define that edge a bit more though. There we go, that should be a bit better. Okay, that's not looking too bad now. It's pretty good. Let's see. Who else needed work? That spray bottle needed a little bit more work actually. Where's my foot tool? There we go. Right, so now I need to texture the surrounding surface. I want to give that chiseled dig site look. Make it look as if it's been worked on. And once I've got this detailing done, I can then turn my attention. Oh, and I need to put pebbles in as well. That's the other thing these dig sites need. There's a few stones that have been thrown in for good measure. Oops. Okay, so almost at the top. It's a shame in some ways I can't retexture this again, but it's the only issue I've got with polymer clay. So you can't just use lighter fluids texture like we can do with monster clay. Yeah, it's certainly a different nature for sculpting this stuff. Okay, so let's have a nosy at this then. How's that looking? It's not too bad. Slowly getting there. Let's see. Okay. So that's one thing I need to do, is work on that bag a little bit. At the moment, it just kind of looks like a chip. In fact, I need to do a really thin strand. Right, so trim this off. Alright, now comes the fun part. Sticking this on without making it terrible. Where's my other one? There he is. There we go. So hopefully this detail won't be lost. Let's get the split down there. All right, so okay, here's my stipler. Just stipple some of the smooth. Still want to keep that rough texture in there. Just wish I had a thinner brush, because this is a little bit on the thick side for me. There we go. Okey-doke. Let's just try and tidy that up a little bit. In fact, you know what I might do? Just to make it more obvious that it is a bucket, I'll stick a thin handle onto it. Okay, so yep. There you go. That's the bucket done. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Really happy with it. I just hope that Sicky T is going to enjoy it when he sees it. I need to just pronounce that a little bit more. All right, so get some pebbles made up. Teeny tiny little pebbles.
Is it the one where you've gone up a bit more, and like on that corner bend to the right, there's like a wall
Probably there, I think. Dee, 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 dee. Oh, my back. What was the problem with working in this office? Hey James, how we doing? Hey Unicast. I'm assuming this is Jane. Ooh, where's that gone? There you go. It's doing quite nicely, yeah. It's come out. I'll just spin it around for you guys. There we go. Yeah, that's it's doing really well. I'm not far from finishing it now, which is good. I can start baking it and priming it, and then I can just paint it in the colour scheme that Sicky wants it. For you guys in your parts of the UK compared to, well, say compared to, it's actually quite glorious here in Lancashire at the moment. Ooh, sugar whip, there you go. A few again. No, I've lost me a little bit now. There you go. did that go? Oh, for crying out loud. That's the only problem when you start working on these sort of like tiny scales, is that things just disappear and then you can never find them again. No, sugar. Right, okay, I'll just have to find another bit. Right, so I'm going to try and get this trowel smoothed out a bit more. Okay. Just need to pull that in a bit. Ooh, sugar. Let's do it the other way. There we go. Nicely does it. Okay, so yeah, just the edges to do now. If I can get that done in the next 5-10 minutes, I can quite happily say this would be absolutely finished. Okay. Now it's going to be a bit awkward for you guys because you won't be able to see the side angles per se, but it probably won't be that entertaining for you anyway. Layer these like I have done on previous sculpts, but because this is material I don't trust, rough it up a bit and then see on a sample piece later on how it goes. Because I want to try and emphasize the sauna edges, but I can't do the usual trick of trying to make it look like rock. So I'll just have to see how I go. I'm sure it will, mate, and you take care of yourself. Go and do the things that you need to do. I'm just trying to work out how many hours it's taking me to work on this at the moment. So I know that I've done, including this video, it's 4 hours roughly of video footage. So it's 4 hours to make this, and then I'm pretty sure I've only done an additional hour or so outside of that recording, of each recording, sorry. So I think, oh, we've got a visitor of the cat. Hello, Teddy. But yeah, I think I want to say this, but if it's not, I'm interested in what the actual hours were. Because the one thing that I've never been fantastically good at is pricing my time. So to me, I look at something like this and I think probably only worth about maybe 10-20 quid, just the, for the sheer scale and size of it. But then the other part of me is like, yeah, but you've spent, you know, potentially 10 hours on this, and it's quite detailed. So your time is worth more than, you know, just the face value of it. But then it's like, you know, do other people see that? I made those wire sculptures and tried to sell them for the hourly price of what it took to make them, and people complained they were too expensive. So I don't know. I mean, I need to discuss it with Siki. Really should be paying for something like this, but then he might look at it and think, actually, this is a one of a kind piece. It's worth more than the sorry, I've just realised I'm completely out of focus. Okay. All right then, there we go. An hour, or whatever you want to call it. Come on, spin around. There we go. Happy with it. I really, really like this, and I'm hoping Siki T will as well. I just wonder if I can. I think that's white balance. There's the side. There we go. Yeah, so there we go then, everybody. A sick Triceratops painting. So, as always, if you like what you've seen today, just get it in there. There we go. Yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So make sure you hit the subscribe and bell notifications so every time I do another live stream, you're aware of it. Also, if you want to support me as well, you can make a donation on Buy Me a Coffee. Donations tend to be £3 or more, depending on what you want to subscribe, but that all helps towards. And yeah, just helps out in general. This is what I want to do as a career, really, at least until something in animation comes along anyway. No, any kind of like donations is more than appreciated. So yeah, that should be it for today. So thank you very much for joining me on the stream, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, guys. Stay safe.